Welcome back, everyone. So I picked up one of those Bose radios from my coworker, and I'm not really getting the appeal of these things. I mean, these are so popular. Yeah, I don't really get it. It doesn't sound very nice. I think I got ripped off. So I don't know what to do about this. I'm stuck with this Bose radio, and I'm just not really sure what to do now. Anyway. But seriously, dad jokes aside, this is the Bose Wave radio that I picked up from a coworker for a fraction of what it's really worth. As it turns out, these units actually do carry some value. This one dates back to 1984-ish. It's really hard to say. I don't know exactly when it was made. I think when we pull it apart, we're probably going to get a better picture of that. But this unit here, my coworker, was looking to clean out some stuff from his house, and he offered to sell this to me. And he knows I like, old vintage stuff, and anyway, it just so happened that I'm actually looking for a new stereo for the breezeway for when we have cookouts and stuff, and I thought, hey, why not a vintage Bose Acoustic Wave sound system, or music system as it's billed on the top. Bose has produced a variant of these from about 1984 up until 2017. You can still buy one of these. I'm not sure if they're new or used, but Amazon is still selling them for $2,000. That's the modern version of this. The originals with the cassette deck sell for approximately $120 or so, I found on eBay. But they average about $100 in working condition. In fact, I think they sell for about $100 even with the cassette deck not functional. I paid nowhere near that, nor would I. I really just, I've always kind of wanted one of these because they sound fan-freaking-tastic for what they are. The more popular models are the acoustic wave radios, which were very popular throughout the 90s. In fact, I remember seeing ads for these things, usually around the holidays, bombarded with ads for these things around the holidays, I might say. And those are the more compact models that are designed to sit, on a nightstand. But this is the whole room bookshelf model, and boy, does it pack a punch. So the problem with this one is it works very well. In fact, I just tested it with my iPhone with an auxiliary jack, and it sounds great. The AM, FM radio or tuners both work flawlessly. It has digital tuning and a full servo-controlled cassette deck. It has one input. It has a line output. Not that you would ever use it. I don't think you would. And basically very simple controls. And that's what made these so well thought out, is they were very simple. Bose wasn't about loading the control panel with 100 million buttons. You'll find that a sound design bookshelf system has about 14 times the buttons that this thing has, because the whole point of the Bose sound systems or speakers, it was all about the acoustics and the sound quality, and really they were very low frill designs. The first model, the AW-1, which is what we have here, does not have a remote control sensor. Again, it's as basic bare bones as it gets. Very simple controls, no fancy equalizers, nothing really to write home about. But again, all the money and all the engineering goes into producing the sound quality that these are notorious for. Unfortunately, due to copyright issues, I cannot demonstrate it to its full potential, or really any potential. And on that note, I'm going to demonstrate how the cassette deck does or does not function right now, and here we go. So I'm going to plug it in. Alright, so the cassette deck, it turns on. You can hear the capstan motor running, but nothing else is going on. the transport mechanism does not engage at all. So I already pretty much know what the problem is. It likely has a broken belt or 2 or 10. So I think there's about 3 or 4 belts in this unit, so we need to take it apart and see what size belts they are. I think I actually have some. The cassette door, all the clips are busted off, but that's alright, we can fix that. At least I have the cassette door. If you look on eBay, most of these seem to be missing the cassette doors, as they are notorious for breaking off. And it's easy to see why, because the plastic that they used back then doesn't age well. It's not made of a fine quality substance, but anyway. The framing and assembly plant. So I'm going to pull the rod antenna out. Screw out. There we go. Funnily enough, if you go to the Bose corporate website, they actually still list this model, and they still have the owner's manual, which is actually quite remarkably short. Although it's hard to believe that people are still buying these things for thousands of dollars. About the price of a good MacBook Pro used. Alright. Got a couple of more screws here. But the sound quality that you get out of one of these is just... I mean, it's not. I don't think these are popular amongst audiophiles unless they're into nostalgia. I mean, these were very well engineered, and this particular unit being the first in the dynasty of the Bose Wave Radio empire. Wow, that was very simple. That was remarkably easy to take off, almost too easy. We've got a very simple membrane-style keypad, and the membrane is molded or attached to the underside of the cover. We'll clean those up a little bit. The cassette mechanism. Oh, it's actually it is mechanical. So maybe there's a serious problem here. It's engaging the motor, but nothing else. We'll pull the mechanism out and get a good look at that and see if we can even fix it. If for some reason this unit is determined to be not worth fixing, it's still a great sounding auxiliary speaker for my phone. And you can even, you know what, I think what most people would do with a unit like this is they'll attach maybe a Bluetooth module to it, and they've got themselves a very, very nice sounding Bluetooth speaker. So there's that. It smells kind of musty in here. It's been sitting around. You can see they even potted the surface mount chip here. This thing is really well made. There's the motor, the cassette deck. We know that spins. That's good. I'm hoping this is a very simple fix. If not, I'm not too worried about it. I didn't pay a lot relative to what it's worth. Some people may disagree. But okay, 40 bucks. I paid 40 bucks for this thing, and considering they're selling for 120, I think I did okay.
You got cats to feed.
There it is. So it looks like the tuner board, easy to get to. A lot of push fit connectors here, and looks like the board below it is probably your power and amplifier board. I'd like to pull the acoustic chambers apart so we can get a look at that, but I'd rather not disturb the piece inside there. Alright, so we're going to pull these screws out. And nothing like the modern push fit plugs, because you know these are like all the modern stuff you take apart these days. They're using such small plugs. They just break if you look at them wrong. These are not like that at all. I'm gonna have to grab a screwdriver to pull those. It's still very impressive to me. Okay. So let's take a look at what we got in here. I'm already seeing little chunks of plastic falling off, but that's actually from the cassette deck mechanism, or cassette deck door. Let's put this over here. Let's get a good look at her. Okay. Looks like all the belts are intact. I see 3 belts here. Okay. Yeah. I don't think we can save this one. I think the plastic in here is actually what's broken. I'm looking at these plastic gears, and some of them are quite discolored, which is not a good thing. Look at the size of that flywheel. Now, for 1984 or so, that is a beefy cassette deck. This is one that was designed for precision playback. You just don't see this level of quality anymore. Oh, I think I found the problem. It's actually a slipping belt. I think that's what it is. Oh, a piece of plastic just fell out of it. Now that's once again for the cassette door, which we know is broken, which we're not too worried about. Yeah, I think I might have found the problem. We do have a slipping belt. This one right here, this one down inside there. We have to dig a little deeper. Pop this belt off. I'm going to pop off this flat belt. I don't have one of these, but I found a place that will sell me one. But I don't think we're going to need it. And we'll spin this belt off here. This is the one that's causing us all this pain. So my thought is, what it does is when you press the play button, it starts the motor spinning, and then this device here is what drives the mechanism to do its thing. It drives the transport into a position. I think that's what it does. Okay, it looks like the entire cap stand has to come out. Okay, so that fell out somewhere. Spacer. That side. And my collection. Now these are belts I bought off the internet at a discounted price, so they're not the best of quality, but they might get us moving. So, see if we can find something close to that. And these are all different shapes and sizes. That's too small. And they're very thin. So I'm not holding my breath here. I think this will work just fine. Well, we're going to put this one on here, like that. The stuff I'm going to be using right now is, I believe, a 3M product. It's M-Coat EM30L. It's designed for transport mechanisms of all kinds. And I'm just going to dab a little bit of this where I see dried up old grease. Alright, so I just cleaned this belt up a little bit. What I like to do is just take the top layer of oxidization off. If the belt is still solid in good condition, if the belt is gummy bears, so to speak, I don't touch it. It's not worth it. But these flat belts are often more expensive to replace, and I find that the ones made back in the 1980s were pretty stable and lasted a good long time, so I'm not going to go nuts replacing unnecessary things. Again, this is a radio that I really don't want to put a lot of effort into. A lot of money, I should say. Put the screws back into screw holes. Okay. I'm going to get another Q-tip, some rubbing alcohol, and we're going to clean the heads. Both the play and erase heads. Play, record, erase. Let's see what kind of schmutz we get out of this one. Not much. It wasn't really all that dirty. I don't think this unit was really used much with cassettes. If anything, it was used on the radio probably 24/7 in a boring little office park or something like that. Chances are. All right, we got to put the we got to put that retainer back in. So I put that over here for the capstan. When and if we get the cassette deck running again, I'm going to use the Q-tip to clean the capstan and pinch roller. That's what I'm going to do. A little bit of stuff there. Get that out of there. Okay. Alright, now I think we're ready to put her back in. Now, the key to screwing in coarsely threaded screws, especially on plastic devices or plastic parts, you have to turn them counterclockwise until the screw drops into its thread. See what I'm doing? And I'm listening or feeling for a slight bump, indicating that the starter thread has landed into its groove. And at that point, it just drops right in. Oh, folks, I just found the production date. Are you ready for this? It was right in my face the whole time. March 20th, 1989. So this is not an early production. This is towards the tail end of the production. And we're going to see if we can't wake the dead with that cassette deck, putting it back in service for all these years. 1989, that's when it was made. That sounds about right. Okay, press play. It's really trying. It's really trying, you know? It's doing more than it did before. Let's put a cassette tape in it. Maybe there's an interlock. That's always possible. So let's do that. No, it still doesn't work. Well, it does move the tape now, but it's not engaging. So now that I've seen it in action, I think I know what the problem is. The problem is the mechanism is just gummed up. It's a lubrication problem. That's really what it is. I think I've zeroed in on where the problem is, and I found it might be a timing issue. And I'm going to pop this cam gear off. I'm going to look at what's going on here. So there's a lot of gummed up grease inside this, on this cam lobe. We're going to clean that off. The cam appears to be in good shape. I don't see any pieces missing or broken bits. So I think we're going to just try to clean it up and put it back in. I'm going to get some fresh grease on there. Grease inside and outside the track. Okay. Just something tells me that it's probably something related to this mechanism here. It does seem to be sticking pretty bad, but I'm not sure if it's supposed to be that way or if that's, you know, or if that's just a fluke. So let's take it out. All right, I'm going to pop this circlip off. I'm going to take this arm off and see what the heck is binding it up, because I don't know for sure it's supposed to be so tight. But we're gonna find out. Yeah, it's really tight on the shaft. Okay. I think it might have found our problem. This arm is so stuck on that pinion right there. It's like it's attached with glue. The grease has completely hardened. So we're going to clean it off. I'm also going to use some alcohol and a swab to clean inside here. And then we're going to take some fresh grease and we're going to apply it. And now we're down in there. Let's apply a little bit of grease or two. Dobs of grease here and there and everywhere, and do the best. Okay. So I'm going to put this back in. Alright. Yeah, that moves nicely now. Okay. Get the spacer out of my way. Get this out of my way. Put that back in. See, that is how it's supposed to move. Guide her in. I'll get it. In the meantime, I gotta find that circlip that just fell off the bench. Alright, we got the most of this reassembled. And everything's in the right spot. Put these snap rings back in. Yes, I was able to find the missing snap ring. And I just like to push them on very delicately with a screwdriver tip. Usually works for me. There we go. So I'm going to set this back to its starting position, or what I think to be its starting position. Oh, I'm in the wrong track. Okay, that happens. There we go, take that one out. Yeah, we're in the wrong track. That's where it's gotta be. There we go. Alright. Working on some of these transports, you really do need a service manual, especially as it pertains to timing during reassembly. Some of that really does matter in a big way. What's interesting about this particular mechanism, which I've never seen before, is that it's semi-servo controlled. The action of pressing the play button or the record button does not immediately push down, so it's almost like it works backwards. Most cassette tape mechanisms that I've seen, pressing down on the play button, for example, would automatically, it directly engages the head assembly. And when that is locked into position, that's when the motor starts. But this one, pressing the play button does not do that. It does not have that same function. It engages the motor first, and the action of the motor engaging and the positioning of the cam gear is what tells it. It actually it uses the motor to drive the heads down into position. It's a little unusual. I have not seen that before. But then again, it's a Bose radio. So Bose has to be different. Bose has to be better. And apparently that is better, I guess. I'm no engineer, but hey, that's why I don't make an engineer's salary. So no harm, no foul. No offense taken or whatever. But we're gonna gingerly clean up this deck a little bit more. Okay, I think we're good. Let's give it a test run. All right. I know that some of these transport mechanisms will not function without a cassette in them, but for funsies, let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. It works. Get engaged. Okay, where's the stop button? That's pause. It took a while for it to engage, but okay. That's stop. Let's, I'm going to clean that cap stand one more time. Oh, we're far from out of the woods. That's normal. That's not normal. So there's still a problem. There's still a problem. Let's put a tape in and see if we can't solve it. So it's not over yet. We're getting there, but press play.
7. Fire control officer spots flying saucers. Kenneth Arnold reports 9 disc-shaped objects, quote, shiny, silvery, moved incredibly fast. From the rock, well, they wrecked.
You know, it's too bad I couldn't run this unit while it was still in. Maybe I can. It just wouldn't. You can see where it's jamming up. Okay, so what do we got here? I took this gear train out from the spindles, and I found that it's just very gritty feeling. Like, really gritty. In a bad way. And I'm not sure about that. I don't think that's good. Okay, here's what we're going to do for this part of our little excursion. Oh my, I found the problem, and you won't believe what it was. This gear here, this is an idler gear, and it is totally seized. 100% seized. There. Freed up a little bit. That's the problem. That's why it won't go into fast forward. So that's an easy fix. You can actually see the corrosion on the gear. You can actually, it has a slight greenish tint to it. So we're going to pop this retaining clip off. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to take this drill bit. This is a 5/64 drill bit because I'm in America, and I'm going to just use it to clean out the inside of this gear. And we're going to get that shaft. Where's our little? There it is. Our little devil. We're going to pop it back in until it spins freely. It spins a little better now, but we're going to clean it up a little more. We're going to ream it out. Now what we've got to do now is we're going to load that drill bit into a precision machine to try to just very gingerly machine out the hole. Sorta, kinda. Here we go. Precision, my friends, that is the answer. I think that'll do. It'll ride up with wear. Okay, we're going to put a dab of our special lubricant on this shaft over here. Yeah, like that. And then we pop the gear into position. And we hope for the... Yeah, that's going to move nice. That's going to work. That'll do it. Okay. Now I got to get that clip back in. Okay, let's give this another try. Plug in the power. See what happens. Play. Stop. Rewind. Oh, damn it. Ooh, fast forward works now. Hey, rewind? Rewind works. Okay. I think we're golden. Let's put a tape in and see it play. Now, which direction are we going? That way. Oh, it would be helpful if I had that in place. There we go. It's still ticking a little bit, but I don't know why that is.
First, the news. From the East Oregonian, June 25th, 1947. Fire control officer spots flying saucers. Arnold.
It doesn't stop. That's interesting. It doesn't stop, but it is a fully functioning cassette deck. Before somebody else points this out, I want to mention that the reason it makes a ticking sound during playback is because the idler gear is actually shrunk just enough to make it jump a tooth every revolution. This can happen and can be rectified by obtaining a replacement gear if one is available or from a parts machine, but I'm not too concerned about it. It plays back cassettes very nicely. After letting it run for a little while, the playback speed is actually fairly consistent, and there are no audio distortion issues or anything like that. So I'm not worried about it. I'm just glad it works at all, really. So that's what's going on with the ticking sound. It took me a little bit. I actually had to sleep on that one to really get it figured out in my head. So I had the same problem with a Bell & Howell projector. So it kind of reminded me of that. So there you go. So yeah, we're almost at the home stretch. We're at the home stretch. We got the cassette deck fully functional and cleaned it up a little bit. Did some lubrication, a couple new belts. Not sure how they're going to hold up. These aren't the best quality belts, but I think we'll be okay. But this very expensive luxury radio for its time will live to see another day. If I did not succeed in repairing the cassette deck, I was probably going to just resell it as having a non-functional cassette deck. Probably make a few bucks off of it. Why not? You know, I helped out a coworker who wanted to clear out some junk, and he helped me out. All works out in the end. But it's time to put the cap on this video, in a poetic manner of speaking. And probably one of the easiest to service pieces of consumer electronics I have ever encountered. It's also, you know, given its target market, they had to get it right, you know. If only Apple would take a page out of Bose's playbook and make their stuff fixable, period. That would be nice. That would be really nice. No extra screws. That's how you know you did it right. And I think I need to put these in first. And no, I think there's an alignment issue. I'll figure that out. Okay, we're going to now clean the aerial. And the way I do that, grab myself some quadruple zero steel wool. And a can of water displacer 40. And I just spray it. And I take my steel wool and I go like this. That's going to remove any oxidization, any grime, dirt, dust, anything that you don't want. And then I take myself a clean microfiber cloth and I wipe it thusly. Look at that. Brand new 1989 antenna. And for a very, very, very expensive radio, the antenna mounts exactly as it would on a $100 Sanyo boombox from 1989. You notice a little bit of grime right there in the antenna socket. It's easy to get out when the antenna is not there. And that is how we restored this. Ew, gross. Look at that screw. Somebody's been in there before. Look at that. It's all beat to hell. I actually might have another screw just like that I could probably put in there if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, let's get some power. I'm going to reattach the cassette door with some adhesive. And that's how I'm going to do it. There we go. Now this particular model did not have a handle of any kind, so lifting it is a little bit cumbersome. Okay. Turn the radio on. Okay, it works.
Alien growth, a hoax, Farm Bureau rep declares. Red weeds said to be work of spray gun teenagers. From the Portland, Maine Press Herald, September 14, 1965. New Hampshire UFO sightings mount.
Everything works pretty well. So now we got to figure out a way to attach this damn friggin' door. Okay. So it looks like that's how it's supposed to go on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my favorite. So this stuff here, this Loctite Super Glue Ultra Gel, is like my go-to guy for gluing things. It just works so well. And for most plastics, not all. But I think if I just do that, you know what I mean? There we go. the smudges and stains off of it. A little rubbing alcohol. It had a few paint splatters on it. That's alright. It's a beautiful set. You know, it's interesting how it's like Bose just never stopped making these. They got it. They came up with an aesthetic that they wanted to stick with, and they just, well, stuck with it. Sometimes that happens in the industry, and it forms a brand identity that can't be taken. Well, it could be, but it shouldn't be. Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to conclude our video. That is how you fix your cassette deck in your Bose Acoustic Wave music system version 1.